it's been a hot minute since we've dove into some Enshrouded. You guys know that I played this game heavy when it first came out. I believe I have roughly 60 to 70 hours into the base version of the game, and I do know that recently here back, I believe in March, they actually dropped a really big update which introduced unique dungeons called Hollow Halls through each biome. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest, I did not jump in here and check this update out as I was currently, caught up in other survival games, everything from Nightingale immediately after Enshrouded. I dove back into a little bit of Conan Exiles. I continued to make content on Ark Survival Ascended, and now I'm diving headfirst into Soul Mask, which is set to launch for May 31st. But with all that being said, I do think that I need to dive back into Enshrouded, as I believe we have some really big updates on the horizon for the game, and one of them they went ahead and announced currently on Twitter. Check this out. So if you head over to the game's official Twitter account and you scroll down, you can see roughly 10 hours ago they just dropped this tweet. It says, "What is better than stabbing enemies with one hand? It's stabbing them with two hands." And it says daggers will be coming soon to our next major update. And as much as I love being a magic user in every RPG or like class-based RPG or MMO out there, I really still am excited here for this dual-wielding dagger spec inside of the game for a couple of different reasons. So first up relates to the playstyle, right? Normally when it comes to like a dagger or a dual-wielding, close quarters weapon, you normally have some sort of like in and out playstyle where your entire goal is maybe you don't take a whole lot of hits, maybe you're more glass cannon, but you can do a crazy amount of damage, and it has a lot to do with getting in really fast and getting out really fast, whether that's going to be through rolling, backflips, you name it. You have to get up into the enemy's face to smack them with the daggers, but the entire idea is to apply some sort of bleed, some sort of poison, and you're just constantly chipping away at the enemy's health. And I really do think that daggers in this dual-wielding spec is going to fit really nice inside of the game, and it's probably going to be one of the most favorable play styles for players to engage with because of how cool and unique it's going to be. And reason number two brings me to the skill trees. You guys know in Enshrouded that yes, you could build out the entire skill tree that's already preset there, to kind of build, a class that they have set out for you. However, you have the flexibility to pick and choose, whatever you want on this skill tree to finesse and really create your own individual class that fits your playstyle. Well, with keeping that in mind, I'm very curious to see how they are going to fit the daggers inside of this skill tree. Will the current skill tree, be modified, obviously, to incorporate daggers entirely, so we'll get an entire section, or will they just start to, somehow incorporate it into subsections, maybe something like the ranger section or even the assassin section? Probably more likely going to be the assassin section if they do decide to go with one that's already here in the game, but I really do think it'd be cool to actually see a brand new branch off of this skill tree that would incorporate just a ton of stuff related to the dagger skill line. And in addition to the tweet, they dropped that video that showed a person unlocking the daggers, and then also they showcased some of the dagger sets that we'll be able to discover inside of the game. The very first ones, in my opinion, are probably my favorite out of all of the ones they showcase here. I just love the two-tone in the color and also the funky looking shapes. The second one looks pretty generic here. The third and the fourth set do look very, very cool and obviously fit the theme here for Enshrouded. And then last but not least, we also have some really cool ones that have some sort of like blue glowing tip to them, which in my opinion does remind me of like some sort of frost mechanic potentially. As we know, in Enshrouded, they do have different elements in the game that do carry over into some of their abilities, spells, and even weapons. And I can tell you right now, I really hope that the poison guy, the big macho poison guy that runs after you inside of these Ravager camps that is like all, like lit up with green and have those two giant cleavers, even though it can drop one of those cleavers already, it would be really cool to be able to dual wield those two cleavers, or if not those specific ones, if they have the ability to like maybe drop a set somewhere that is giving you both of those cleavers as dual wields. Dude, it would be a very cool, cosmetic build, and it would be really awesome if they actually did some sort of additional poison damage perk that you can't get otherwise. And now, in addition to us expecting the daggers in the next coming update, they also dropped 2 additional tweets since then that have been teasing more and potentially leaking the name of the new area. Check this out. Over on the official Twitter account, once again, they actually dropped back on May 21st a little short camera pan of exploring potentially a new spire in a new area. They also drop a little funny quote here that says, "We let you off the hook for not playing Enshrouded for the last couple of weeks. However, though, things are about to change." And again, it looks absolutely awesome. I love these little hints and teasers, and you could just rewatch this over and over again to try to pick apart things, but I'm pretty sure to the right here, or at least behind him, is definitely some sort of spire that obviously will be able to solve the puzzles and stuff, you know, get the loot, and then utilize it as a new travel point. And then most recently here on May 30th, they actually dropped a screenshot with potentially also the name of what we can expect the next area to be. They state, "Despite its size, the entrance to Blackmire is surprisingly well hidden. Where do you think it is?" And then they obviously dropped the screenshot of what they are calling the entrance now to Blackmire. And obviously people went straight to the replies on the comments, and Mike here on Twitter said, "Did you just casually drop the name of the next update?" And Keen Games actually confirmed that with a reply and says, "We dropped it over on TikTok and YouTube." Now, I didn't do any searching on TikTok or YouTube in order to confirm like what they're stating here, but yes, that means the new area's name that we're going to be able to discover in this upcoming update is called Blackmire. And now following that up, another person on Twitter, Curbs, replied and said, Mire is a swamp, and swamps are normally the scariest and hardest part of any game to traverse. I'm interested," with obviously the eye emoji, as I am very interested as well. And obviously Keen Games confirms this once again by dropping a Shrek gif with the "what are you doing in my swamp," which is absolutely hilarious. I love their responses, but more so here, I actually love that they're confirming some of these speculations. So it looks like the next area is going to be some sort of swamp biome, which is going to be equally as challenging as it is going to be awesome. I really do like swamp biomes in other games like Ark Survival Evolved and Ascended, so I am going to be very curious to check it out here in Enshrouded. And it also gets me thinking about what we can expect the final boss to be for this area on top of it, and also how daggers are going to fit into the entire realm of things. And I can tell you right now, even though I'm already overwhelmed with the sheer amount of open world survival crafting games that have come out that I am just itching to dive into, but I am just sheerly way too busy to dive into each and every one of them, I can tell you I'm still very excited though for the next major update for Enshrouded. I'm very curious to know what they're all going to be bringing to the table, whether it's going to be new mechanics, whether it's going to be reworks of old mechanics, whether it's going to be new content, you name it. I'm very, very excited. And I would also like to remind you guys, we are closing in on 100,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can achieve that goal by the end of 2024. If you guys want to help me out, please be sure to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe here on the channel, as it does directly help me achieve that goal. As always, guys, if you want to join up on my Discord, I do have a Discord community of over 7,000 members that are all there for a variety of different survival crafting games. So if that's something you're into, you can also find that link down below in the description. With that being said, though, guys, as always, you have a wonderful day, and I will see you all on the next one.